Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are just before market close on Thursday, October 21st. We're going to take a look at SoFi. Now, we're going to start on the intraday today and talk about the price action through the day a little bit, and then we'll flip over to the daily chart and take a look in a macro sense where we are, where we're situated, what could be setting up, and then we'll take a quick look at the data. So here's the chart that I have for today. Now let me quickly flip to a tweet that I put out. If you want to go to my Twitter, here's my handle @DanCole. You don't need a Twitter account to look at it, but you can look through it. I was on a bit of a tear today, tweet storming through the first, hour, a couple hours of Twitter and of SoFi and the market being open, and then came back and did some additional tweets later on, just sort of like talking about critical levels on the intraday and stuff like that. But this is super important, I think, for anyone who's doing anything intraday. 2080, 2103. These were in yellow, and this is what you're going to see on the chart when you look at it right now. And this is where I pulled these from. Pre-market highs and lows are super important to intraday activity. You see, this is exactly where I pulled it from. I just threw in the top in the pre-market, right? There was some additional activity back here in the after hours yesterday, so I swung it up a little bit higher, and then 2080, that was the swing low here in the pre-market, and so I just wanted to kind of point that out to people. The 2132 in blue and 2058, that's why I made them different colors. Those are from the daily, so those are more influenced by the overall supply and demand in SoFi. This is the short-term support and resistance. But again, I got it from the pre-market. So in my opinion, I don't think it's helpful to ignore the pre-market action and sort of say that it doesn't have any influence on the intraday, because oftentimes I think it can. But if you want to see my other updates, I'm not going to go through the dozen or whatever it was, maybe more. Just go there and look at my timeline. But look at how critical of a role those levels ended up playing today. We shot up and we got within 9 cents of our, over our larger scale resistance level, and basically double topped, fell through, tried to catch at 2132, flipped it from clearly, right, from support to resistance. That's the confirming of the resistance, and then came back down, fell right through the yellow zone, but then came back and confirmed that as resistance. Right, and then came down and within three pennies found support at that 2080, reconfirmed resistance, came down and made another attempt and tried to flip, but it couldn't, right? So then it's just sort of batting itself around again, gets some support there and tries to catch, but flips. But where does it catch itself again? Right at that 2080, and then it tries to make another run up, but where does it get stopped out? 2103. And then it reconfirms there. The nice thing with these dips, though, after it keeps getting pushed back from these resistance levels, is the dips aren't as dramatic, right? So it's like big dramatic dips, but then you have lesser and lesser dips, right? And this one, rejected dip, but then starts to come up, and these dips are nothing. It's more like sideways consolidation at some point. And now it's fighting with that level again right into close. So this is just to say, I'm not going to leave these on here because these yellow levels they're only good for today. But if you are doing anything with taking positions intraday or what have you, I think that taking a look at what was the high and what was the low in the pre-market can be really, really helpful to figure out where things might be going throughout the day. Now, I did take a $25 call option for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted just sort of like a little bit more skin in the game. My $22 call option is really, really profitable. I think it's well over 50%. I think it's been nearly 100% at some point, but that expires on November 19th. So I took a 25 also for November 19th. Again, Part of the play here is thinking that the IV increase as we get close to earnings is going to help offset certainly any negative price activity that we have. That's only to a certain degree though, but help offset the theta decay of time passing. So I just wanted to let folks know that I took that position today. It's currently a bit red, as you would imagine, but I only had a little bit of time this morning, so I needed to decide if I was just going to take the position or not. And overall on the daily, I think we're looking pretty solid, and so that's why I thought it was worth it. So here's where we are today, okay, in this mess of a chart. We are doing the thing that we've been talking about, which is it's trying really hard at the moment to establish a full candle body above this yellow line. Sorry, not just the body, like body and wick, like a full in the clear, didn't touch this yellow line at all. And obviously these last 3 days it's came in contact mostly to the upside. Today coming in contact to the downside. And so my question is, tomorrow, do we get an opportunity to have a free and clear candle out of this long-term downtrend? And if so, does that unlock our next big run? That's basically the bet that I'm placing when I took that additional call option today. It's obviously $25 call option, quite a bit out of the money. But we've also been on a nice run here, and things are looking pretty solid in my mind. Another way for me to put that, maybe a better way for me to put that, certainly a more conservative way for me to put that, is there are so many support zones really quickly below where the price action is, right? So first thing is we would see it fall back through this yellow line. And then very quickly, what does it do at 2058, 59, whatever this support zone is? Oh, 2058 says right there. So you have the yellow line, you have the 2058. Then you have this upper bound of this channel that it left recently. Does it catch support there? And if not, 1993 is right there. So there's 4 levels of potential support within $1 is sort of a way to look at it. And so to me, I think the price action is moving in a nice way. But additionally to that is that there's so many opportunities to close a position because you see it falling through what could have been or should have been support levels. And so that should indicate, okay, maybe we put together a nice run here, but maybe it's taking a bit bigger of a breath. Maybe it's reversing the trend. Who knows? But that's why I get added confidence up at these levels. That said, you're also taking on a bit more risk in the sense that you're further away from the initial risk point, right? Like the risk would have been much lower down here because you had so much room to the upside. Now you're relatively short period of time more heavily extended to the upside, so you're further away from where you would have gotten the largest reward, which would have been to take a price toward the bottom. But nobody has a crystal ball, nobody knows exactly where this is going and where it's going to end up, so there could still be a lot of potential to the upside, right? And depending on what time frame you're working in or trading in or investing in, that could be much, much more likely for sure. Okay, so that's what the chart's looking like to me. Now, on the data side of things, here we are. Price change, 1 month, 44.47%. Amazing. One of the better performing stocks lately. And then estimated short interest. See here, kind of flatlining, going slightly up, but a nice drop off from a few days ago. Again, sitting about 7.75%. Very close to where we saw it yesterday. Utilization, cost to borrow, days to cover, all sitting about the same. So no big changes there. And so again, like I said, on a stock that's had such a great month, it's nice to see that shorts aren't just coming in droves to say, this is way overextended. Let's shove this back down. So I'm taking that as an additional good sign. I'm just realizing I didn't check the news at all today, but yeah, you folks can read these as well as I can. I don't have anything valuable. to add to these, I don't think. Oh, I did see something funny yesterday. There's this chart in here, and I was like, that looks very close to my chart. This one. Oh, you can't see it on here. Oh, you can scroll this way. Okay, so this is their SoFi chart, right? They're making a case that SoFi, what was it, FCell and Nike are putting in bull flags, right? And they have in yellow, which is just the first thing that really stood out to me. I mean, granted, they have these white lines and stuff, so it's slightly different, but I mean, pretty similar, like, layout here. But whatever the reason for that is, if they are just organically making this themselves, good to see that there's sort of like clear alignment there, right? There's like multiple people sort of analyzing and charting the same stock in similar fashion and sort of seeing the same identifying factors. And I'm never shy about wanting sort of like fresh eyes, or a double check or a double take someone else's take on something that I think I'm seeing. But thought that was kind of funny last night. All right, folks. I hope you had a nice Thursday and that you are able to finish the week off strong tomorrow. And always, I appreciate you. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.